I'm going to turn it over to Anne to talk, and while she's talking, I'm going to go to the PSU email, as Kate's pointing out, to help people find where we are. So with that, I'll turn it over to Anne McClellan.
Thank you, Robin. I just want to thank also the CoLab team for jumping on this professional development opportunity for us so quickly. As many of you know, this COVID situation has been rapidly evolving, and every week feels like a new mountain of priorities that we've been trying to deal with. So we spent a lot of time this semester figuring out, of course, what our course delivery system was going to be like. We quickly shifted to how can we adapt our teaching and expectations in humanely and compassionate ways to support our students as well as our faculty. We've extended those kind of approaches also to faculty evaluation in this uncertain time. And of course, now we're really thinking about taking advantage of this last week when you are all exhausted and worn down to try to get kind of one last opportunity for people who want to spend some time in their summer thinking about what the future might look like. And of course, that's the big question for all of us right now. So I really appreciate the CoLab staff working with us a couple of weeks ago, and we've only had a couple of weeks notice to basically say, hey, could we set up some professional development time the week after commencement and finals week to provide students, faculty with some support to have them start thinking about and planning what the fall might look like. We had wanted to give you, there's a lot of scenarios that are out there right now for what the fall teaching might look like. And we were really hoping, of course, to be able to narrow some things down. And I think the CoLab has done a good job of that. We're planning, you may have seen the press release from last Friday that all the university system schools are planning on an in-person opening in the fall. We're continuing to watch public health updates on the COVID curve, and also working with public health safety experts as well as on campus to make sure that's as safe an environment as we can make it with testing, social distancing, and a lot of different other accommodations. That's going to continue to develop over the summer as we see what happens with the disease and what we're going to be able to do safely. So we're going to continue to communicate with you and to do some different scenario testing across the summer. So we've kind of identified a couple of different methods, right? So we've talked about traditional face-to-face classes and what that might look like. We've talked about, and I think Robin and the team is going to work on this for the next couple of days too, module planning about what it might mean for us to have to pivot particular points in the semester where we might have to go remote again. How can we be more intentional with our teaching and plan for those eventualities if and when they do happen, as well as looking at what they call kind of this hybrid high flex model, which is probably going to be pretty likely for us, which may be that some students may not feel comfortable with returning back to the classroom or may become ill because they have the COVID-19 virus and may need to participate remotely, whether it's for a certain amount of time during a class or whether it's for an entire semester. So the university system is investing in more classroom technology across the university to allow us to upgrade to 25 to about 50%. This is our goal of our classrooms by the end of summer to have built-in Zoom technology and microphones, so cameras and microphones. We're also increasing our portable microphones and Zooms as well. So that's going to allow us to have more readily available for faculty who need to provide a remote distancing synchronous opportunity for students at that time. That's one model. There's lots of different things you're going to talk about and explore this week as well. So this is part, the great thing about the professional development that we're offering, we're providing kind of different ways to think about intentional online instructional design in different modes and for different scenarios. And so you're going to get introduced to a lot of that this week and have opportunities for follow-up one-on-ones with the instructors who are going to be doing the sessions tomorrow. In addition to that, all these things are going to be recorded, so you can go back and be able to look at them again and reference them again. We're also working across the system to help utilize all of our instructional designers and all of the resources that all of the campuses are developing for their faculty. So we're looking at ways to incorporate some kind of self-paced, asynchronous modules that Granite State has, which is kind of like, basic online education, basic 101. There's a 5-hour self-paced kind of module that people can do. They've got wonderful resources also that we can use about ADA compliance in online and remote teaching, as well as some other avenues and opportunities. We're also talking with other instructional designers and across the system to possibly offer an intensive kind of online instruction camp, virtual camp this summer, whether it might be something like 3 weeks. We're hoping to get professional development support for faculty who might be interested and doing a little more in-depth kind of online instructional design class. There's a lot of articles that have been being published over the last couple of weeks for other schools who may have already had an online instructional design kind of online class. Sometimes they're really long, could be 10 weeks, like you're taking a full semester class. A lot of schools are condensing those down to 3 or 5 weeks. So that's something we're talking about right now across the system as well, that we might be able to utilize and provide professional development support for that. That's, so there's going to be continuing ongoing opportunities. We're hoping they can be, not too invasive for faculty for summer, but they're going to be there. So we're going to link whatever we can to the CoLab page. So the resources are there for you as you think about your courses and planning and as we learn more about the fall. In addition, as I mentioned, to the instructional technology, we're also working with the Board of Trustees for professional development opportunities. We were very clear with the Board of Trustees that yes, we want to provide professional development support for our faculty, and we all absolutely need it and welcome it. But the reality is that most faculty are on 9-month contracts. So I will tell you, we don't have an answer on that yet, but we do have a request out from all the systems to get professional development support for faculty who want to continue to develop and learn these skills. The Academic Technology Group has also talked about maybe tapping into and working with those faculty become faculty fellows, maybe by disciplines, AUs, or clusters, so that if you have become a Zoom expert, and there's somebody who teaches courses and disciplines that are similar to yours, could you be a helpful resource for them? Is there a way that we can also kind of bring that together? And that aligns, I think, really closely what the CoLab does with faculty affiliates and things like that as well. We are also trying to put together a grant request to the Davis Foundation to see if we can get some professional development money, also to support online preparation for faculty, which would hopefully come in within the next 10 months. So a $25,000 grant, hopefully to help the PSU faculty as well. So we are looking for opportunities for professional development support, both from grant foundations and from the system. So we'll keep you posted on what opportunities come across over the summer to help with that. Just a couple more things, and then I will jump right out and allow you to get to all of the fun learning. You might have heard already that the system has created a task force, what they're calling a reopening task force, which is actually being led by Melinda Treadwell, who's the president of Keene State University. Every campus has a set of task forces set to look at different pieces of what we would need to do to be able to plan and set in motion what fall reopening would look like for us. So Plymouth State has 11 task forces. Many of you actually may be serving on them. Every task force has to have a faculty member on it, an OS member, and a PAT on it. And so there's everything from health and safety, where we have public health people and people in the allied health sciences, as well as campus PD, and different people on that one, working also with Spear Hospital, to technology and residential life and campus space, as well as, of course, academics. So those groups are kind of just having some preliminary meetings, and we're going to keep kind of communicating out over the summer as we work on some different scenarios for that as well. So if you have any questions on that too, feel free to let me know. My last bullet just to talk about is that we will do our best to keep communicating out as we learn and the information as we keep going. As we said, our intention is to open in the fall, and we're going to keep monitoring that situation and working on what testing might look like, protecting people's health, protecting public spaces, what social distancing might look like and how we might need to and want to change our approaches to teaching in the fall.